Isabel Allende. I live in Northern California. I'm a novelist, a writer. I write in a little house, a little cabin that I have in the back of my garden that is very isolated, no noise, no email, no phone, nothing, just writing. I start all my books on January 8th because I need a day to start. Otherwise, I would be procrastinating forever. It's hard to make the decision to write, but if I have a day, I start that day. In 1981, on January 8th, I received a phone call from Chile that my grandfather was dying. And I started a letter for him because I could not return to Chile. I was living in exile in Venezuela. This was during the time of the dictatorship in Chile. And that letter started to grow, and it became a novel. My grandfather died without reading the letter, and it became The House of the Spirits. That day I didn't know what I was doing. I was writing something that had 500 pages, and I didn't know if it was a novel, a chronicle, a memoir. What was it? I had no idea. And I didn't know that I was a writer until I wrote my third book. And after my books have been translated, then I thought, oh, I can make a living with this. Then I thought of quitting my day job and becoming a writer. It's the story of a 19-year-old girl from Berkeley, American girl, that gets in trouble. At 16, she loses her grandfather who has raised her, and the grandmother goes into a depression. She feels abandoned, gets in trouble with the wrong friends, drugs, alcohol, escapes from home, ends up in Las Vegas, where she gets involved with drug dealers and in a federal crime without even knowing what she's doing. Eventually, her grandmother rescues her from the street and sends her to Chile, to a very remote island in the south of Chile, in Chiloé. And there, in a rural community where she's disconnected from the world, she goes in a sort of journey into her own past and her soul and finds herself. And so she writes about what happened the year before and what is happening in the island where she's living. And so she also gets involved with the history of Chile. Her grandmother is just like me, a total ugly bitch. But she adores Maya, and she will save her eventually. The grandmother is Chilean, and she's also a political exile that left Chile after the military coup, but instead of going to Venezuela, as I went, she ends up in the United States, and she marries also an American, a black man, who is adorable. And this man, whom Maya calls Popo, her grandfather, is the pillar of Maya's life. So when he dies, Maya collapses. Manuel is a man that Maya doesn't know at all, and her grandmother sends Maya to the house of this man in Chiloé. And Maya doesn't know why this very solitary man receives her and opens his house for her. And so we start learning about their relationship slowly, and there is a surprise at the end. But the character of Manuel is very important for the book because he represents Chile, the past of Chile. He represents the other life of Maya.